A UNLV grad who proudly grew up in the northeast part of the valley, a neighborhood she now serves as a Metro police officer. And what she is doing in her community has captured the attention of Nevada lawmakers. Metro officer Laura Villicana is our guest on Nevada Week in Person.
Support for Nevada Week in Person is provided by Senator William H. Hernnstedt.
Welcome to Nevada Week in Person. I'm Maria Silva in for Amber Renee Dixon while she is on maternity leave. Thanks for joining us. Well, Officer Laura Villicana has only been with the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department for less than 4 years, but in that short time, her commitment to making a difference in the northeast part of town where she grew up caught the attention of Nevada U.S. Senator Jackie Rosen, who invited her as her guest during President Biden's State of the Union address. Welcome to Nevada Week in Person, Officer Laura Villicana. Thank you so much for being with us. Now, I do need to ask you, I want to start off with your family. You've been here since you were 2 years old. You grew up, as I mentioned, in the northeast part of the valley, which was why it was so important for you to go back and give back and be a part of that area.
Yes, thank you, Maria. It's such a pleasure to be here. So I was actually born in Mexico, but I grew up here in the Las Vegas community, primarily the northeast part of town, and it's really, really great to be here. Thank you.
And let's talk about your biggest inspiration is your father. Tell me why.
Yes, so my dad's my soft spot. My dad, ever since I was a little girl, has just always tried to do the right thing, no matter if it's not going to get him ahead in things. So that just really instilled those values into me to just want to give back and do the right thing.
And let's talk about giving back and doing the right thing. I also need to ask you your inspiration. When you were a little girl, did you ever imagine that you would become a police officer, a Metro police officer? And I need to point out your pink nail polish because that has something to do with it, right?
So, I mean, obviously being a little girl growing up, you watch TV. And one of my favorite shows growing up was Power Rangers. And I always was like, okay, I love that pink Power Ranger. That's who I want to be one day. You know, they were always out fighting monsters. So for me, that's kind of where, ever since I was a little girl, I knew like I really wanted to just give back and help the community.
And that pink Power Ranger, huh? You have photos. We need to find those photos. There is proof out there. Let's talk about how you are now inspiring little girls. You go into these classrooms and even in your own neighborhood. That must be so special for you, knowing that these little girls look up to you now. Now they have a role model more than just the pink Power Ranger, right?
Yes, it truly is special. We had Nevada Reading Week this week, so we went into some of the classrooms, and I asked the classrooms like, who wants to be a police officer when they grow up, and like mostly all the girls raised their hand, and it just really warms my heart to see that.
Oh, that's so sweet. Okay, let's talk a little bit about the initiative that you started in the Northeast Area Command.
So about 2 years ago, at the Northeast Area Command, I'm the officer that's in charge of our Northeast Hispanic Coalition, and every single month we meet at the station with different community partners, different stakeholders. Senator Jackie Rosen's office attends those meetings, and we basically just talk about different issues that are affecting the Hispanic community and focus very heavily on the resources available to them.
And you mentioned Senator Rosen. What was it like getting that call when she invited you to go be her guest during the State of the Union address?
I was very surprised. I was not expecting that at all, but it was truly an honor because I know it's an opportunity that not many people get to experience in a lifetime, to be at that address and to just experience it.
And as an immigrant, as a woman who's a police officer, what did that mean for you on a personal level?
That was extra special. I know my parents were at home watching the State of the Union address, and I'm sure it was a very proud moment for them to know that I was sitting there at that time.
And specifically, what did they tell you as you were leaving to go to D.C.? What words of encouragement do you remember that they told you?
So what they've always told me and what I just really hold dear to my heart every day is just how proud they are of me. And those are just words that just mean so much coming from your parents.
Especially and going back, because it is so important we talk about representation, the fact that, again, immigrant parents, a lot of times, they do bring you to this country, so you do have better opportunities that they didn't have. So to hear that their daughter was going to be in D.C., at the President's State of the Union address, I mean, you're getting emotional just thinking about it. It's hard not to.
I agree, Marie, and it's like I mentioned, you know, my mom, obviously my mom was fearful in the beginning when she thought I was probably going to grow out of the phase of wanting to be a police officer. But as time passed by, you know, I was like, no, this is truly what I wanted to do. And it's amazing how supportive they are, and just my whole family in general. They're very supportive.
Oh, they're so proud. Qué orgullo. So let's also talk about what you're doing in the community that you grew up, because you mentioned it was so important for you to go back. And from the get-go, you've been at the Northeast Area Command, correct?
Yes, I've been there for about almost 3 years now. I've been there at Northeast, and we've done a lot of really awesome events with the Hispanic community. One of them that it's pretty dear to my heart is Agua Fresca with the Cop. I really wanted to try something different than like the very traditional coffee with the cop that a lot of police departments do, and it's been a big success.
And those agua frescas, I do need to ask you, they're just refreshing, wonderful. Your favorite drink?
My favorite for sure is horchata.
Horchata,
yes.
Which is delicious. It's a rice drink, you know, made out of rice and water and cinnamon. I always say it has to have a perfect amount of cinnamon and sugar, right?
It does, yes, for sure.
And that's so special how you came about with that idea, because we were talking off camera that you went to an establishment. They sadly were victimized. Somebody broke in, and then you went back to hold one of these events there. That's special.
Yeah, so the first business that I chose had actually been a victim of a burglary, and I ended up responding and taking the report for it. And the owner, Hispanic, female, and she only really spoke Spanish, so it was really good to be able to help her. So when I really had this vision for Agua Fresca with the Cop, I was like, okay, I want to start somewhere small in a small business. So we went back, and we definitely had a great time, and she was very thankful.
And you're giving back to the community.
Exactly.
Yeah. And another thing that I love, and trust me, as a coffee addict, I love, coffee with I can drink a lot of coffee, but kids can't. So what I love seeing is the photos at these events where these little kids are with their, aguas frescas, just having a good time and sitting bond between police officers and the community. That's a big part of what you do.
It is, and we had our last Agua Fresca with the Cop. Some of our officers there were inside of the store doing push-up challenges with the kids, and it was just really great.
And let's talk about this whole initiative. You have these meetings, and they are open to the public, correct? So tell us a little bit about when we can actually attend some of these meetings, because they're on a monthly basis, correct?
They are, but they are not open to the public. They're open to like different community partners, different stakeholders. We have some pastors that come, but it's not open to the public.
Okay, so some community outreach programs want to get involved. How do they do that?
They can contact me, and then I can send them an email invitation so they can start getting notifications, because we meet once a month to see when the next meeting is.
And let's talk about your vision for the program.
I definitely want to just keep it going, because from where we started 2 years ago, we have a lot of different organizations that have gotten involved, not just in Northeast, but across all of Las Vegas, which is great, because now we're expanding beyond just like the Northeast borders that we have. So I just wanted to keep growing for sure.
Now I'm a proud UNLV grad. Go Rebels, so are you. Talk to me about that. You stayed home and went to UNLV.
I did, yes. I went to UNLV, and I got my bachelor's degree in criminal justice, which was awesome.
And then let's talk a little bit about your goal. You want to stay with the Metropolitan Police Department, correct? And what would you like? Can we one day call you the sheriff?
Maybe, possibly in the future.
Like that. Dream big, right? Why not? To think that the little girl who was watching Power Rangers, doing all their moves, the pink Power Ranger, don't forget that, to where you are now, is it surreal sometimes? Do you look in the mirror as you're, getting all suited up and go, Wow, I mean, I've come a long way. That's like, I'm getting emotional just thinking about it.
I have, and I really just hope to like talk to all the little girls out there that whatever dream you have, even if it's to be a police officer, like don't ever let anyone tell you you can't do it. If you're small, if you don't think you're tough enough, you can do it. You just have to have what's in here. That's what's important.
And that's so important. And also a big heart, and know that you want to give back to the community as a whole, and then especially the community that you grew up in. Talk to me about when you do. You go into the classrooms, mention it's, you know, you tell the kids, but when you're out and about patrolling that area and you look at your neighborhood and look around and know that, hey, I used to play right there, and to see again these little kids, but especially the little girls just looking at you. What do you get? What do they tell you when they come up to you and want to, you know, touch everything that you're wearing, including that little camera that's pointing at me right now? How is that experience with these little kids and these little girls? And again, the fact that someday someone will come to you and say, you inspired me, not just a pink Power Ranger, but you inspired me.
I hope so. I truly do hope to be an inspiration, not just being an officer, but just being a Hispanic officer as well. Like I said, it's just, anything's possible, you know, and just to tell these little girls, like, you can do it. You can do whatever you want. It truly is possible.
And I do need to ask you, having grown up here in Southern Nevada, what are some of your fondest memories of growing up here in Southern Nevada?
So there's so many.
I know, but I always tell people, I remember the first place we went was Circus, Wet n Wild.
Oh, Wet n Wild for sure. My parents used to take us there, and oh my God, so many good memories there. I miss it for sure.
Now, in the time that you have been here, the community, especially in your area command that you are right now, the Northeast Area Command, has grown so much. How has that also been for you to see that it's flourished into this vibrant, beautiful community with so many businesses and so many people who now call that area home?
I mean, it's great. I mean, there's some businesses that aren't there anymore. I know the Kmart on Nelson Bonanza is no longer there. We used to shop there.
Went there all the time.
But it's just special, and it's really special to be able to go into these businesses and kind of make contact with the business owners who a lot of times in the Northeast area, they only speak Spanish, to be able to talk to them in Spanish and let them know too, like to establish that relationship of like, hey, if there's anything going on in the neighborhood, like you can come to us and we create that partnership to be able to help them out as well.
And we talk about inspiring little kids. How about the older kids? What would you tell them right now if someone's watching it? Can they, you know, a lot of times you serve as a mentor. Do you have a program where you do talk to the older kids, maybe in junior high school or high school, and kind of get them, hey, you can do this too?
So definitely stay out of trouble. But we do at Northeast Area Command, 2 of our officers actually, they mentor some of, they have a boxing program where they do mentor some of the youth at Northeast Area Command. The officers are amazing over there, and yeah, just stay out of trouble for sure.
Oh, that's great advice.
And listen to your parents.
You see, you listen to your parents and look where you are now.
Yes.
Congratulations. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Maria.
And thank you at home so much for watching us. Go to vegaspbs.org/Nevada Week for more information on this show and Nevada Week.